Imagine the sun dipping low over the blood-soaked plains of Plataea, the air thick with a metallic tang of fresh-spilled guts and the acrid smoke of burning flesh. You're there, shield in hand, heart pounding like a war drum, as a lone Spartan warrior, eyes wild with fury, hurls a jagged stone straight into the skull of the Persian general Mardonius. Crack, bone shatters, brains splatter across golden armor, and in that instant, 100,000 invaders break like a wave on jagged rocks. But how? How in the gods' names did 300 sons of Sparta's fallen heroes turn utter despair into the most savage slaughter the ancient world had ever seen? That's the impossible question that will haunt you until the end of this tale. You think that's brutal? Hold on, because what I'm about to unleash is a roller coaster of madness that will hook you deeper than any battle cry. First, picture this. A night of chaos where Greek heroes argue like madmen, refusing to retreat, and one stubborn Spartan's defiance nearly dooms them all, only to spark the miracle that saves Greece. That's insane moment number one, leaving you wondering if pride can really conquer an empire. Then, just when hope flickers, imagine Persian cavalry thundering in, arrows raining like black death, and a beautiful warrior, the most handsome man in the army, crumples with a shaft through his throat, blood gurgling as he whispers his last regret. Insane moment too. Personal tragedy amid the storm, making you feel the human cost in your gut. But it gets darker. You will witness a forgotten trick from the gods themselves, an omen that flips the script, turning panic retreat into predatory ambush. Insane moment 3. The twist no one saw coming, where divine whispers outsmart mortal blades. And oh, the slaughter. Picture 100,000 Persians trapped, spears punching through silken skin, the screams echoing as sons avenge their fathers in a river of gore. Insane moment 4. Cathartic revenge that will pump adrenaline through your veins. Finally, the hidden truth history buried. The brutal aftermath where victors turn on each other. Secrets of betrayal that rewrite everything you thought you knew about heroes. Insane moment 5. The dark secrets that make this victory bittersweet, leaving you questioning if freedom was worth the price. Stick around, because by the end, you'll be addicted to the raw truth of how these underdogs clawed victory from the jaws of oblivion. Now, let's dive into Act 1, the underdog setup and the stakes that will make you feel the crushing weight of despair pressing down on your chest like a Persian elephant. You have to understand the world these men lived in. A Greece fractured, city-states bickering like jealous siblings, while the mightiest empire on earth, Persia, loomed like a shadow ready to swallow them whole. It's 479 BC. The air still reeks from the smoke of burned Athens, and the ghosts of Thermopylae whisper in the wind. Remember Thermopylae? Where King Leonidas and his 300 Spartans stood against 1,000,000 Persians, buying time with their lives. They died to a man, bodies piled like cordwood, arrows blotting out the sun. But that sacrifice, it lit fire in every Greek heart, or so you'd think. Fast forward a year. Xerxes, the Persian god king, has slunk back to his palaces after his fleet got shredded at Salamis. But he left behind his cousin Mardonius, a cunning fox-eyed general, with an army that could blacken the horizon. Herodotus tells us 300,000 strong, though modern scholars peg it closer to 100,000 warriors from every corner of the empire, armored immortals with wicker shields and curved blades, Scythian horsemen who ride like demons, Indian archers with bamboo bows that hum death, and worse, traitorous Greeks, Thebans, Boeotians, fighting alongside them, selling out their kin for Persian gold. Against this horde, a ragtag alliance of Greeks, scraped together from city-states that hated each other almost as much as the invaders. Sparta sends 5,000 elite hoplites, bronze-armored killing machines, plus 35,000 helots, those poor slaves forced to fight or die. Athens contributes 8,000, Corinth 5,000, and so on, totaling maybe 40,000 hoplites and 70,000 light troops. But unity? Ha! Spartans sneered Athenians as soft democrats. Athenians call Spartans barbaric tyrants. Pausanias, the Spartan regent, commands, but whispers a division already poised in the air. The stakes? Total annihilation. If the Greeks lose at Plataea, Persia claims all of Hellas. Athens rebuilds under a satrap's whip. Sparta's kings kneel before Xerxes. Democracy dies unborn. Philosophy withers. The West as we know it, gone. Imagine you are a hoplite in the line, shield locked with your brothers, the taste of dust and fear bitter on your tongue. You know one slip, one route, and your wives become concubines, your children slaves hauling stone for Persian monuments. Despair clings like sweat-soaked linen. Omens from the gods are grim, seers muttering of doom if you cross the Esopus River. But Mardonius, he's clever. He camps north of the Esopus, fortifies a massive stockade, wooden walls stretching miles, towers bristling with archers. He knows the Greek phalanx is unstoppable in close quarters, but on open plains, his cavalry will carve them like roast lamb. So he waits, sending riders to harass, cutting supply lines, poisoning wells. The Greeks perch on the foothills of Mount Cithaeron, high ground favoring their heavy infantry. But thirst gnaws at them. Days drag, morale frays. You feel it, the hopelessness seeping in, men whispering of retreat, of surrender. And here's where it hits hardest. These aren't just faceless soldiers. Take Callicrates, a Spartan so beautiful poets sang of him. He stands in the ranks, armor gleaming, but inside, terror. He confides to a comrade. I fear not death, but that I won't strike a blow before an arrow finds me. Prophetic words that will chill you later. On the Persian side, Mecistius, their dashing cavalry commander, golden-scaled armor flashing, beloved by his men. He charges with laughter, but fate has other plans. The despair builds. 8 days of stalemate. Persian arrows pinning Greeks like insects. Supplies dwindling. You smell the unwashed bodies, hear the groans of wounded. Taste the brackish water rationed drop by drop. Mardonius taunts via heralds. Surrender, and Xerxes will be merciful. Some Greeks waver. Thebans already defected. The alliance teeters on a knife's edge. But what happened next made even the gods hold their breath. Imagine the tension snapping like a bowstring. Act 2. The leader's personal torture. The dark past that humanizes these iron men. Pausanias. Say his name with reverence or suspicion, depending on the tale. He's not just any commander. He's the nephew of Leonidas, guardian to the boy king Pleistarchus, Leonidas' son. Those 300 at Thermopylae, their blood runs in his veins, their shadows dog his steps. Imagine you are Pausanias, 30 years old, thrust into regency after your uncle's heroic death. Sparta expects you to be unbreakable, but inside, you're cracking. His dark past starts with family tragedy. Leonidas' sacrifice wasn't just glory. It left a throne vacant, a child orphaned, and Pausanias burdened with impossible shoes to fill. Whispers in Sparta's halls. Can he match the lion? He trains relentlessly, body honed to perfection, but the mind, haunted by doubts. Herodotus hints at his inner turmoil. Omens plague him. Seers demand sacrifices that delay action. At Plataea, as thirst ravages a camp, Pausanias paces his tent, the weight of Greece on his shoulders. You feel the sweat trickling down his back, the knot in his gut as allies argue. But it's personal. Pausanias lost kin at Thermopylae. Cousins, friends. Vengeance burns, yet fear tempers it. What if he fails? Sparta falls, his ward executed. His name cursed as the one who lost it all. Nights he dreams of mangled bodies. Hears Leonidas' voice. Avenge us. Torture, pure and visceral. The isolation command, where every decision could doom thousands. Humanize him further. A moment with a helot servant, sharing bread, confessing, I fear not the Persians, but failing my uncle's ghost. Or his bond with Euryanax, his second, who steadies him. But darkness lurks. Later accusations of treason, Medizing with Persians. Was it ambition? Greed? At Plataea, it's raw humanity. A man tortured by legacy, fighting for redemption. On the Persian side, Mardonius' torment mirrors it. Nephew to Darius, he pushed Xerxes into invasion, whispering of glory. But after Salamis' disaster, blame falls on him. Xerxes leaves him to clean the mess, with an army restless, supplies stretched. His past? Wounded pride from failed campaigns, a burning need to prove himself. He mourns lost comrades, smells defeat stink, yet charges on. Personal story, his grief over Mecistius, treating the body like a brother's, shaving his head in mourning, a rare glimpse of Persian heart amid the empire's cold machine. The torture intensifies. Pausanias consults oracles. Sacrifices fail. Blood runs black. God silent. Despair peaks. He weeps alone. But then, a spark. You think the plan is set? Wait! Because the insane scheme nobody believed is about to unfold, and it will leave you breathless. Act 3. The insane plan nobody believed. A gamble so audacious, it could only come from a mind teetering on madness or genius. Picture this. The Greek camp is a powder keg. Thirst claws at throats. Men collapsing in the heat. Lips cracked like parched earth. Pausanias huddles with Aristides, the Athenian, cool-headed just, but seething at Spartan delays. We must move, Aristides urges, voice low, to the island, that patch of ground between streams, near Plataea. Water there defensible. Pausanias nods, but his eyes dart to the seers. Omen's bad. Don't cross the Esopus. The plan? A night retreat, under cover darkness. Pull back the entire army. 40,000 hoplites stumbling over rocks, helots hauling gear, all while Persian scouts lurk. Insane? Absolutely. One misstep, and Mardonia's cavalry swoops like vultures. Allies balk. Retreat? Cowardice. Amampharidas, a grizzled Spartan Lochagos, slams his fist. Spartans don't run. His story humanizes the chaos. He's a veteran, lost brothers at Thermopylae. Pride is armor. Pausanias pleads, but Amampharidas stands firm. His men forming phalanx against their own commander. You feel the tension, the smell of betrayal in the air. Nobody believes it will work. Athenians mutter, Spartan arrogance will kill us. But Pausanias presses, divide the army, center first, then flanks. It's a feint, perhaps intentional confusion, to lure Persians. Modern analysts call it brilliant deception, using the illusion of low hills to hide forces. But in the moment, madness. As night falls, the center moves, Corinthians, Megarians slipping away, then Athenians on left, Spartans last. Chaos ensues. Dawn breaks, Spartans still in place, Amampharidas arguing. Persians spot the retreat. Mardonius laughs. They're fleeing. He orders pursuit, crossing forbidden Esopus. The plan, disbelieved, now unfolds in blood. Act 4. First blood and hope, the dawn of possibility amid the gore. Imagine you are Amampharidas, finally yielding, marching back as Persian cavalry thunders. But earlier skirmishes set the tone. Days before Mecistius charges. Persian noble, armor like a dragon scales, horse foaming. He harries Megarians, arrows whistling. Then an Athenian archer, Olympiodorus, strikes his mount. Mecistius falls, Greeks swarm. He fights like a lion, but a spear through the eye ends him. Blood sprays, hot and sticky. Persians wail. Retrieve the body, shave heads in grief. First blood. Greek morale soars. Hope flickers. Now, in the retreat, hope reignites. Spartans form up, Tegeans beside. Mardonius commits. Immortals advance. Arrows darkening the sky. Thud, thud, shafts burying shields. Callicrates falls, arrow in lung, gasping, I die unhappy, no deed done. His beauty marred by crimson froth. A poignant death amid hope's birth. But the phalanx holds. Spartans charge after Omen. Bull's sacrifice flows red. Gods approve. Spears clash. Hope surges as Persians falter. You taste it. The shift from despair to defiance. Athenians engage Thebans. Bitter kin fight. Blades biting flesh. First blood flows freely, but Greek discipline shines. Mardonius presses, yet cracks appear, and just when victory seems near, total disaster looms. You think this is the end? False ending one. The Greeks push, Persians waver. But no, the center crumbles, cavalry encircles. It's not over, it's worse. Act 5. Total disaster, the lowest point where all seems lost, despair absolute. Dawn's light reveals horror. Greeks scattered, Athenians isolated, fighting Theban hoplites. Traitors in Greek armor, screams of brother killer echoing. Spears punch through bronze, gut spill steaming onto dirt. The smell, iron blood, voided bowels, chokes you. Spartans pinned, arrows raining. Mardonius on his white stallion, directing the storm. Immortals form wicker wall, archers behind loosing volleys. Greeks huddle under shields like turtles in hail. Wounded cry, helots trampled. Pausanias prays desperately to Hera, tears mixing with sweat. If we must die, let it be with honor. Disaster peaks. Center Greeks near Plataea routed, fleeing to town walls. Persians storm after, slaughtering stragglers. Bones snap under hooves. Blood muddies the ground. Artabatzos, wise Persian, urges retreat. This is folly. But Mardonius ignores, ambition blinding him. His story, tortured by past failures. He charges deeper, sealing doom. Lowest point. Pausanias sees his line breaking. Ammopharitus down, bleeding from thigh. Hope extinguishes. You feel the crush. Greece falls here, in this bloody afternoon. But what happened next made even hardened warriors vomit. Act 5 continued. The disaster deepens, a vortex of carnage that sucks the life from the Greek cause. Imagine the chaos amplified. The Persian infantry surging across the Esopus, like a tidal wave of silk and steel. Their war cries a thunderous roar that shakes the earth beneath your feet. The Spartans, those unbreakable sons of the 300, are now bending, their phalanx compressing under the relentless pressure. Shields splinter with deafening cracks. Spears bend and snap like brittle bones. You can hear it. The wet thud of arrows embedding in flesh, the gurgling choke of men drowning in their own blood as lungs pierce. Aristodemus, the shamed survivor at Thermopylae, branded a coward back home for living when his comrades died, charges alone into the fray, redeeming his name in a frenzy of violence. He hacks through Persians, blades slick with gore until overwhelmed, body riddled with wounds, collapsing in a heap of twitching limbs. His story is pure tragedy. A man tortured by survivor's guilt, finding peace only in death's embrace. The taste of iron fills the air, mingled with the sour stink of fierce sweat and excrement from the dying. On the left, Athenians clash with Thebans in a fratricidal nightmare. Sopanes, an Athenian hero, anchors his shielded ground with chain, vowing not to flee. He slays dozens, his arms aching, blood spraying like mist. But the numbers overwhelm. Thebans envelop, spears thrusting from all sides. Disaster absolute. Pausanias signals lost in the din, units fragmenting, helots panicking and bolting, trampled underfoot. Mardonius laughs from his mount, sensing victory, his past humiliations avenged. The lowest point hits like a gut punch. You feel Greece's soul fracturing, freedom slipping away in rivers of red. But hold on, because the miracle twist is coming. A forgotten trick that turns his hell into heaven. Act 6. The miracle twist, the forgotten trick that no one saw coming, pulling victory from the abyss. Just as all seems lost, the omens shift. Pausanias' final sacrifice to the gods, blood flowing bright and true. Hera answers. The seers shout, attack. It's the miracle, divine favor, the forgotten trick of faith in a world of steel. Spartans surge forward, a wall of bronze erupting like a volcano. Tegeans lead, crying for freedom. The twist? The retreat was bait. The scattered lines now trap Persians in kill zones. Hidden in low hills, reserves ambush. Mardonius, overextended, charges in, his stallion rears, but Iamnestus, a Spartan everyman, hurls a stone. Crack! Mardonius' helmet caves, brains ooze, body tumbles. Panic ripples through Persians, leaderless. They falter. Artabatzos sees a twist, orders his corps back. 40,000 flee, but thousands die in a rout. The forgotten trick, Greek unity forged in desperation. Phalanx pushing like a machine, spears harvesting lives. You smell the turning tide. Fear shifts sides. Persian sweat now acrid with terror. False ending 2. Persians break. Greeks cheer victory. But wait, the camp still stands, fortified death trap. It's not over. The Real slaughter begins. Act 7. The cathartic slaughter, the revenge that floods the plains with Persian blood. With Mardonius dead, vengeance unleashes. Spartans storm the Persian camp, wooden walls breached, tents aflame. Immortals fight desperately, but hoplites carve through, blades sinking into soft bellies, screams piercing the smoke. Imagine the visceral fury. Sons of the 300 avenging fathers, helots rising against oppressors. Blood pools ankle deep, the taste metallic on lips as Greeks hack relentlessly. Athenians join, storming from the side, Thebans routed. Catharsis peaks, revenge for Thermopylae, for burned temples. Bodies pile, limbs severed, the air humming with death. 100,000 Persians? Most died that afternoon. Herodotus says 257,000 slain, though reality closer to 50,000. But the feeling? Pure release, dopamine rush of justice. Personal story. Iamnestus, the stone thrower, honored forever, his humble act immortalized. On Persian side, Artabatzos escapes, but haunted, his caution ignored, comrades lost. But even in triumph, darkness lingers. Act 7 continued. The slaughter intensifies, a symphony of vengeance that echoes across the ages. You are there in the thick of it, shield bashing aside a Persian's desperate parry, your spear thrusting forward with a sickening squelch into yielding flesh. The immortals, once elite, now break like brittle clay, their wicker shields no match for Greek bronze. Blood arcs in crimson sprays, painting armor and faces. The ground a slippery mire where men slide and fall, only to be trampled or stabbed. The sounds assault you, bones crunching under boots, guttural cries in foreign tongues pleading for mercy that never comes, the wet rip of skin parting under blades. Helots, those long-suffering slaves of Sparta, taste freedom in the kill, armed with scavenged weapons. They exact revenge on the empire that mirrors their own bondage. One helot, face scarred from whips, guts a Persian noble yelling, "From my chains." Cathartic, yes, but dark. The line between hero and butcher blurs in the red haze. Athenians push into the camp's heart. Tents collapsing in flames, gold and silk burning with the acrid stench of roasting meat. Revenge for Athens' sack. Every slain Persian a payment for desecrated temples. Sarpènes falls here, chains still anchored, body a pincushion of arrows. But a stand inspires the final push. The slaughter is total. Bodies heaped like harvest sheaves, the Asopas running red, fish choking on gore. But you think the bloodletting ends? False ending 3. The camp falls, cheers erupt, but whispers of betrayal stir. Pausanias eyes Persian treasures, seeds as downfall sown. Act 8. The brutal aftermath and what history hid from us. The ugly truths buried beneath the glory. As dust settles, the plains are a charnel house. Greeks bury their dead, 159 Spartans in honored graves, including Amynpharidas, his defiance redeemed. But the count? Herodotus lowballs Greek losses at 159, hiding the thousands of helots and light troops slain, unnamed and forgotten. The smell lingers, rotting flesh under the sun, vultures wheeling, the taste of ash on the wind. Brutal reality. Spoils divide the alliance. Gold, jewels, concubines. Pausanias tempted, later accused of plotting with Persians, starved to death in a temple. History hid his torture. Ambition clashing with duty. A hero turned traitor, or framed by rivals. Artabatzos reaches Byzantium, but his men starve in Thrace. Cannibalism rumors whispered. Hidden truths. Thebes besieged, Medizers executed. Timbers from traitors' homes burned. But unity fractures. Athens rises, Sparta declines. History glosses a cost. Slaves revolt brewing, economies shattered. What hid? Women's stories. Widows mourning or Persian captives enslaved, their silent suffering. The miracle of Plataea saved Greece. But at what price? Freedom bought with blood, legacies tainted. Act 8 continued. Dive deeper into the aftermath's brutality. Where victory's shine reveals cracks beneath. You walk the field days later. The air heavy with decay's sweet sick rot. Flies buzzing in black clouds over swollen corpses. Persians left unburied at first. Revenge's final insult, until plagues threaten, forcing mass pyres. Smoke chokes the sky. The crackle of burning fat a grim soundtrack. History hit a human toll. Helots, those unsung masses, die by thousands, their bodies dumped in pits, no memorials. One story emerges, a helot named Tertius, who saved his Spartan master, only to be freed back to servitude. Persian side. Survivors trek home, frostbite claiming limbs in mountains, starvation hollowing eyes. Artabatso's torment, guilt for fleeing, court intrigues awaiting. Hidden, economic ruin. Farms razed, trade halted. Famine stalks Greece. Pausanias' dark path, bribed with Persian gold, his death. Walled in a temple, starved, mother placing the last brick. Brutal irony for Plataea's savior. Commemorations rise. Serpent column at Delphi from melted arms, but high divisions. Athens claims glory, Sparta resents. Seeds of Peloponnesian war sown here. Final emotional closing. You've journeyed to the blood and fire, felt the despair, the twist, the savage joy. You now know the real story. The sons of Sparta's 300 avenging in gore, leaders tortured by ghosts, forgotten tricks turning tides. 99% of people skim the surface, but you're among the elite who grasp the visceral truth. History's heroes are flawed, victories Pyrrhic, yet inspiring. Plataea wasn't just a battle. It's a dopamine hit of human resilience. Share this, relive it, because in knowing, you stand taller, wiser, unbreakable like those hoplites. Thank you for joining. Until next time, remember, the past lessons are written in blood.